Continuing on, guys. First hand back after the break. Just had 6-9. Yeah, I just had 6-9 that hand unfolded, and we are 12 of 26. VIP 1 mil quarterly free roll, Supernova Plus, 9 hours and 1 minute in. 12 of 26, 100k for first. M11. Decent table. We do have 2-pack who might 3-bet us behind, which is a bit annoying, and if Fiana's opening a little bit to our right. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because it might give us a chance to 3-bet them light and pick up some dead money, especially since we're at that stack depth where, you know, the blinds will be up in 1 minute, and we'll be back to that sort of close to that first pivot. 3-bet jam zone. And it's kind of looking like what I was saying earlier, where by the time we get to the final table, if we make it, yeah, I mean, the stack's going to be quite short. Even though it's 15-minute levels, I just think the play is going quite slow now. Everyone's playing fairly tight, fairly careful. Players like Jenny Doom are tanking every hand to try to... Seems like she's trying to move up in pay. And I mean, yeah, it's pretty big jumps now. So it's 26 left, and the next pay jump is at 18, and it's goes from 2,800 to 4,500. So it is a $1,700 pay jump. It's fairly significant. So wow, look at this jump! All of a sudden we're M8. And I thought it was going to be pocket fours there. I saw a 4 flash, and I thought pocket fours. If Fiana opens and we jam him and we get chips, but 2026, 240, 8.5, yeah, it's fairly significant. Wow, we're going to get a walk. Ah, Jenny Doom! Snap jams it in, got the nuts. Well, not the nuts, but she's been quite tight, Jenny. And this is going to be a pretty close spot here if Fiana opens. Probably going to fold. That's good. I think Jenny is going to just fold, and then we get to jam on get win. Nice situation to be in since he's so short. And we have ace 3. Yeah, I think if Jenny opened I would just fold anyway, but I can't imagine Jenny opening. I just think she's going to do a normal tank fold. You do have to kind of wonder when get win might take his stand. Now he's M1 and he's still folding. Wow, this is kind of tight, wasn't it? Oh, it was donk and call and then donk again. I think he needs to raise turn. I don't know why he's just calling the turn there. I mean, I know he could be bluffing this guy and it's okay just to let him bluff it off, but I mean, I think this guy's a very sort of straightforward ABC player, Yabba, and a fish. So I think he could call with like a ace 8, or if he's got 8-10 or like 7-10, bet on the up and down, then hit a pair and has up and down as well. If you make it, you know, 1.2, I don't think he's going to fold, and then he might feel committed by the river. I mean, once in a while, I mean, he's so unlucky if he's donked out with a house. I mean, it's just so unlikely that he's donked out with a house, but if he has, he has. Looks like that ballot guy was just spewing a few chips again there. I know, you guys want to see the aces, come on. Oh. And I think I will just jam this in. Because we are only M9. He actually looks like he's got a monster. But he might just be trying to take the initiative. Calling is okay, but I just think getting it in is better. Wow. Okay. So it could have been like an ace-jack, ace-10, maybe sort of thing. Small pocket. I thought maybe he had a big hand because his sizing was quite small, but I mean he is repping a pretty polarized range, so obviously once he snap folds I wish we had have called, but I think jamming M9 there, you know, yeah, I mean it's I think it's fine because he's 3-bet against UTG, so he's probably going to call a lot. And there is already a significant amount of dead money out there. There's already 800,000 out there, you know, so we only have 1.9 left. I think calling for, you know, 150, it's okay to try and get a full double up. I mean, that's definitely fine. Try and get to 4 million. Try and let him hit a piece. But at the same time, it's a little bit risky just to call for 150 and let him, you know, try and outflop us, or get a flop with a lot of equity in a high sort of bubble sort of situation. I mean, not that high yet, but because there's still 20 left, but we're not really talking about a significant gain. I mean it is significant. I mean, we can get a full double up for 2 million, but there's still 800,000 out there that we can get. And the chance that he calls with ace king, ace queen, kings, queens, jacks, and so forth, maybe tens. So I just don't know how much value is in just calling. Having said that, I mean, he might have ace jack, the flop comes jack high, easy double up, but you know, it's never, you guys know it's never easy, right? It's never easy. Oh, so they moved the purple guy, bit of a fish. What do we know about this guy? Not much. Been kind of tight from same 4 there. I might open here. He's on 4, 13%. How much is he jamming? He's not 3-betting that much. 3-bet from small blind, not much. 3-bet button a little bit. This guy's kind of, it's been a bit tight there. How many times is that? 3-bet buy, there's not much at all. Interesting that Cornock, it says he is defending 44%. So he hates folding his big blind, that's for sure. I was going to raise there and call the small blind if he jammed, and that would have been that. You know, we could even sort of 3-bet to 460 here, but this guy I don't really know anything about. Yeah, I suspect he's a lower buy-in player that it's not that great, which means that he might not be that loose opening there, and also could mean that he doesn't like folding to 3-bets. I mean, yeah, I don't really want to 3-bet and then c-bet. I mean, I do, but I think it's a little bit risky. 3 betting there, and then we fire off a C bet, and if he's sticky, you know, we get in some tough spot. But we do have ace-5 suited, so it's kind of close. If we had a bit more information, if we knew that he folded 3 bets, or he opens at a decent frequency, or he folds to C bets a lot, and plays pretty honest post, definitely I would attack there. But I just feel like a fairly early position in a big tournament like this, sort of a lower buy-in player is probably he could be a massive fish, but it's also quite possible that he's not messing around too much. So until we know sort of which end of the spectrum or whereabouts he sits on that spectrum, I decided to just sort of fold there. And I think with more depth of stack, I would probably I'd probably 3-bet, play in position deep with a nice hand. So interesting, he just shoves M7 there. It's interesting that we're hand for hand now, which is kind of weird. I don't know why it's weird, it just feels weird. I mean, I know it is a fairly significant pay jump, but it's, how much is it? So right now the pay is 2,800, and the next payout's 4,500. So 1,700 pay jump's fairly significant, especially when the buy-in is 0. it's in infinity buy-ins pay jump. Actually, I think I saw him on the final table recently. I think he final tabled the Sunday Mills, but normally he's a kind of low stakes guy, but a sort of break even low stakes guy. But obviously we can call here. It's only 1.3, so we're getting like 20 to 1. Sometimes in this spot I like to just tank for a little bit, like we were thinking about 3-betting, because then it's kind of harder for him to put us on a small pair. You know, he might be more inclined to think, he tanked pre-flop like he wanted to 3-bet. Maybe he's got 9s or 8s. Damn, why couldn't that 5 be a 3? This guy actually hasn't been c-betting that much, so it'd be awesome if he had ace jack here. Somehow let us get the showdown, and that's definitely something that you don't want to do. And so I would always bet if I was him on this turn with anything that's not good. If I had ace-9 and I was him, I would always bet this turn because it's too risky that we get to showdown with 2s, 3s, 6s, and now we beat absolutely nothing at all. I have to hope he's got deuces or ace-9, ace-8 suited or something like that. I don't think he's going to bet now, unless he's got like ace-queen or ace-10. I think he's going to actually have those sorts of hands a lot of the time. It makes sense that he would have those hands if he's checking, probably checking with some showdown. He's probably got ace-queen some of the time. He could have ace-10, jack-queen. Jack-queen's the sort of hand that might actually c-bet because it has a little bit less equity. He could even, I guess, check back a king some of the time, to, since it's going to be really hard to get value on that flop. If he's got like king-jack, king-queen, maybe even if he's feeling really tricky, I guess he could maybe check back and try and get 2 streets on. Hope we just bluff turn, or hope he can get called down by a sort of hand we had on 1 or 2 streets. Which, depending on the board run out, I mean, it's always going to be pretty hard. And I just hope he didn't bluff us there with ace-9 and try to get us to fold just in case we had a small pair. But I don't think he did that. But he could have. But I think once he goes check like that, he's probably going to check back ace-high for showdown. I think. We actually could almost just shove here. But sort of walking the tightrope. Loosey-goosey, and has been loosey-goosey. 7, 14, 21, M7. M7.5, 14.5 is M15. Queen 10 is 17. 2, 3, 4, 9. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to raise fold here. It's just that mini ball game, isn't it? And it's more significant at this stage when there's bubbles, and we've got big stacks to our left, so we don't really threaten them as much. And if we jam to Queen 10 there, from a chip EV perspective, it's slightly profitable because Queen 10 has a PN of 17 and we had M7, so we only needed a PN of 14. I think we're slightly over, maybe it was like 14 or 15. So we did have a couple of PN up our sleeve, but I just think that with this bubble in play and the fact that we'll really look pretty strong by just min-raising at M7, Tupac does not defend much. As loosey-goosey as he is, he's only defending 10% from the blind. And this guy's not 3-betting a bunch. They're both not 3-betting a bunch. I just think they're going to fold most of the time there and just get out of the way unless they have the goods. Min-raising is a pretty affordable way to find out if they have the goods, and most of the times they're just going to fold and we pick up the dead money. But if we do just jam M7, there's always the risk that they snap and have us Ace 10, Ace Queen, some hand that might have us crushed, or just obviously have good shape be in good shape against us. I think if they would I think if it was gun and smoking pot, I might be a little bit more. I might consider jamming a little bit more, because I think those guys are actually, when we threaten their entire stack, they might respond by not quite calling with a good correct range, which makes the Queen 10 a little bit extra from a EV point of view, but also that they should be folding a bit tighter because of the bubble factor now. It's not a huge bubble factor, but I mean it's still there. It's significant because it's next one to bust misses out on $2,000. So. And also, I mean, more than that is just that there's bigger pay jumps looming. 12th is 9k. Here's the old 3-bet. Interesting that he has 3-bet there. I might consider calling there with a lot of semi-strong hands. Well, a lot of strong hands, like Ace King maybe. I might call there, and I think it gets jammed on a lot behind. Potentially, because everyone's at a jams has a jam stack, and there'd be a lot of dead money out there. Yeah, I might consider that. The worst here is in a pretty tough spot, though. I mean, Tupac can do this kind of light and call off against Yubba, obviously, and probably have to call. I mean, he shouldn't really be doing it light. I mean, but when I say light, I mean like he might have Ace 10. Okay, this is going to be a good spot, I hope. And I don't think if gun jams we can fold. What's he got? M7? No, we can't. If Yabu jams and gun isolates, what are we going to do? Probably fold. If it goes jam, jam. It's got him 7.5. Oh wow, it has gone jam. Can we fold this? This could be a bad fold. He's probably going to do it with ace 10 and ace 9 as well though, isn't he? He's probably going to do it with like pocket 5s, 7s. I'm not sure we can fold. Ah, he's got the ace queen. Well, that's the way. They say that you can't. Say that you can't make an omelette without breaking some eggs. And I think we just broke a few eggs there. Very close spot. I felt like Gunn had a very big hand like that, but we're only M6.46. So, yeah, I mean, it's risky. I don't think Gunn's going to have, like... I guess he can have King Queens and Jack, King Jack suited. I guess you can have Ace 10, Ace 9 suited. But there's not really that many hands we're beating. Yeah, so it's pretty close. But it was good for us because we're 5 of 12. And not so good for Gunn because he's only got 0.8 of a BB. It was a good turn. I saw it and I thought, there's Jackie Chan. And obviously it was good because what's the other guy? Yaba. We want to bust him because we want to move into the next pay bracket. It would have been pretty annoying if, you know, Yaba had a scooped. We were out. And then we finished 13th. Wow, so Tupac shows up with a monster. So it was button raise, defend, check, bet, raise. That is too sick. Call, and does he have a king? He just has a 9, okay. I really think he needs to 3-bet that pre-flop. I'm really surprised he didn't 3-bet that pre-flop. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit concerning because Tupac's capable of 4-betting, but I just think if you make it, you know, 788 there, it looks so strong. I mean, this guy's always folding, and Tupac just is opening just, I mean, 100% of buttons there, so... I mean, we know that now that we see 3-7, he's opening 100%, but I would have thought anyway it would be 80-ish, 90-ish, but as it turns out it's 100. But I think the ace-9 call out of position against a good player who's pretty aggressive. I mean, I just think that it's actually probably, funnily enough, I think actually a cleaner play to just 3-bet it. It might even be less variance, which is kind of counterintuitive because you would think that building the pot and playing a big raising game is going to increase variance and lead to more bust outs, but maybe not, because you're just calling out of position and having sort of the situation like you have where you're at the mercy, you're just pot controlling against a good player out of position. It's just going to make it really hard for yourself. Whereas if you 3-bet, you know, okay, most of the time he's just going to fold. And if he calls, you can c-bet. And, you know, if he calls and it's a bad flop, you can give up or whatever, you know. And if he does re-raise you pre-flop, you know, that's a tough scenario. You make your mind up. You know, you can contemplate 5-betting, or you can just fold and say, you know what, I think I already looked very strong and I don't think he's going to do anything too crazy there, so I'm going to fold. Wow. Wow, this guy is running good. This guy is running too good. It's actually, was it a loose call? I'm not sure. Very friendly table, everyone has said good luck. Early action. So I think the interesting thing here is that 2-pack's up top again, where he was earlier. We are sitting 5 of 9, so we have a very high bubble factor. And the question really is what players do we have behind us that are going to be able to abuse that bubble factor? I think this bullet guy definitely can. I mean, he's very likely to 3-bet us and get out of line. He's very loosey-goosey. Russian maniac, and here he is raising here. Yeah, I mean, I think we're in a little bit of a tough situation where we've got Bullet, who's a bit of a Russian maniac. He can hurt our ICM and also use the ICM to his advantage. Maybe unbeknownst to him, he can use the ICM to his advantage just because he's so aggressive. We also have Duist, who's seems semi-decent, who's a big stack. Interesting here. Smoking Pot's been kind of tight. Very hard for him to call in this spot with the ICM, but yeah. So I mean, if we had Ace-3 here, it's kind of it's a tough spot because if we open, these guys can just 3-bet us and just leverage the effective, our stack effectively, leverage the entire stack, which I think they'd be quite capable of doing. So I think again the strategy is going to be still as it has been the whole time. Is kind of just play solid, and for sure enough we get Ace-3 the next hand. And I think I'm actually going to make the nitty fold because I just think these guys are just a little bit too capable of. Yeah, I mean, this is quite nitty, but yeah, I'm going to just wait until they can't really leverage their stack against us. And I don't really want to give up any chips. Looks like we would have got jammed on. I don't want to really give up any chips because we're sitting in 6th and we're just slightly clear of these 7th, 8th and 9th guys. And the pay jumps are obviously pretty considerable. It's 15k and then it's 22k and then it's 33 and then it's 44. So if we open and we're M7.5 or 8, it's less likely they're going to 3-bet fold against us. So it's a stronger steal. And I'll wait for that. There's 9 minutes before the next level. So that'll probably be the time when we might consider opening as a steal. And of course, we're still going to be looking to 3-bet 2-pack, 3-bet whack, as well as maybe the weakest. And the Clown Forest, I do have some hands on them, so that's good. I do have 577 hands on them, and they have been stealing, wow, just tons from cutoff and button, so that's good as well to see. And small blind, I mean, this is crazy, the amount that they're stealing. It looked like it was going to be ace-k, ace-k. And they exactly 50-50. Both had one suit. Diamonds and spades, I mean. One suit dominated. Yeah, I mean, if it'd be good to be in 2-pack shoes here, or, you know, have like a nice chunky stack 9mm, he can really open, I think, quite confidently from there and exploit this situation, as can Dewust out. It'd be interesting if we had like pocket fives here and 2-pack opened. I would probably jam, but it's pretty gross. But I would probably jam, but it's pretty nerve-wracking. If he snaps, you're like, oh my god, no. But he's just opening too often, I think, to not. And this would have been a good spot with something like an ace-9 or pocket fives, obviously against Clown Forest too. We just said opens tons. And I might even jam like a king-10 and ace-deuce and stuff, but I'm just going to wait here and not do anything silly because of the bubble factor again. And it's break time. So I'll be right back.